Hello everybody, this is War with a quick tutorial on how to build an effective XP grinder out of a skeleton spawner, just like the one that I constructed in my Let's Play. I constructed it mostly off camera because let's face it, it's a pretty boring deal. Uh, it's just, it is. It's a lot of digging, it's a lot of counting. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What you're going to want to do when you find your spawner is first dig out your room to be an 8 by 8 size around the spawner. And we'll place the spawner here. We're going to represent it with a block of redstone for a couple reasons. One, because there is no spawner in creative mode. And two, because we don't want skeletons spawning while we're trying to construct this. So here is our 8 by 8. Now with this there is no center because you have an even number. Now a quick way to tell which direction you should dig is to place a piece of glowstone. And you can look at this corner here, and that's the direction that should be 4 blocks diagonal. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 over here. But if you find this early on in your playthrough, like I did in my Let's Play, you won't have any glowstone yet, most likely. I mean, you might have gotten lucky. You might have found some glowstone. Good for you. Construct a block and do this. Or, you know, don't waste your glowstone just to do this, unless, you know, maybe you have Silk Touch already. But yes, this corner here will tell you the way to do it. Otherwise, you come over here, hit F3, and look for both your X and your Z coordinates to both go down at the same time. So you would come over here to where your spawner is, and let's represent the spawner with the redstone like we said. And what you would do is you would walk from the corner of it, and we've already placed our glowstone. We know that the arrow points that direction, but say you didn't. Now you're watching your X and your Z coordinate. X is getting smaller, moving to 838 from 841 or 842. Z is moving from negative 1511. That number is getting larger, but it's negative, so it's actually getting smaller. So, first thing I like to do is dig out the floor. And I like to make it so that you have a three high clearance here, because you're going to want water on this, and the skeletons can't spawn directly on water. You probably only need a 2 high, but this will give you plenty of extra room to work. You won't be jumping into your water block as you are going. So, next we're going to construct the outside, and if you're playing this in a survival multiplayer where this totally works beautifully, this isn't going to be constructing, this is mostly going to be digging out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this up and encompass our spawner here, and I will be right back. There we go. We've built our cube. Now we're done. Ha, just kidding. Okay, what we have done is we have encased our spawner in an 8 by 8. The Z coordinates, sometimes they work out to be 8 by 8. I find that I really don't pay much attention to that. I just want my 3 high below it. And you want enough room up above because skeletons spawn at this level here. Now since they can also spawn directly on your spawner, you want to put a block there. That'll keep them from spawning on top of the spawner and then getting stuck there, which is quite troublesome actually. If you have a skeleton spawned up on top and he just stays there, then he's going to affect the spawn rates of the rest of the room until something else spawns up there and pushes him off, which might not happen, you know, and you might get a little bit of a slower rate. So stick that up there just to be safe. So then what you want to do is, depending on which direction you want the skeletons to go, you're going to want a trench, because we're going to have your water flowing here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The water will flow all the way across this. So, the easiest way that I found to do this is to dig out one more layer. This is as simple as punching a block out in your underground skeleton spawning room that you've now created, and moving it back just one like this so that you can place your water here and the water will flow to the edge but no further. Now this is important because we're going to need the skeletons to fall into a trench here that will then carry them to the next area where we will collect, where we will collect and murder our skeletons for experience. You're also eventually going to want a water stream here, but if you're doing this in survival and you don't have an infinite spring nearby, whoop, we don't want to fly, because you can't fly in survival, you're not going to be able to jump back up on there. Now, right here at the end, you could. It's just something to keep in mind, because fighting against water while you're underground, and it can get troublesome. Also, keep in mind, if you haven't already deactivated the spawner, you're going to want stuff like this all around the place. Possibly even on the spawner a couple of times. I tend to go overboard with how many torches I put on spawners just because if I'm working with it, I want to be safe, you know? Alright. So then from here, what we're going to do, once you have the direction you want the skeletons to go, in this case we want them to go this way, because we're going to drop them over here where we collect the experience, is you'll come out, you'll dig this out, just one more. That doesn't need to be there. Go away. You dig this out just one more, and we're going to make a water elevator. Water elevators are incredibly simple. All you need is water and signs. Now this is where things can get kind of annoying if you're playing in survival, because you do have to have a lot of water for this. What we want to do is drop the skeletons a total of 22 blocks. If you drop them 23, it will kill them. If you drop them 21, it will take more than a few hits. It should be one hit, but it's not. It's a few, and they drop with armor, and they're protected now. And so you need to have you need to have you need to be able to punch them a few more times. But anyway, we want 22 block drop. So right now we're standing at 4. Now if we're going to drop them at this exact same level here, and we're not, we're going to drop them to where they're standing at 5, just for the sake of this demonstration. So if you want to drop them at 5, we're going to take 22 plus 5, which gives us, come on math guys, 27. So we're going to bring this up to 27, which is simple enough to do. But if you are early on in the game, like I was in my Let's Play, you are probably going to be severely under-geared, and digging straight up and straight down means the possibility of falling to your death. So, bring ladders, use the trick where you dig, where you stand on 2 blocks at the same time, and dig out one, then the other, alternately, like that, so that you don't fall, to your death. We're going to build this up to 27. I will be right back with that. Okay, so now the tunnel is constructed up to the height of y equals 27. Now keep in mind, these are just the numbers that I have in my creative world. The floor here is at 4. You're not likely to find a spawner that low. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's just, you're going to find it a little bit higher than that. So just remember to add your numbers appropriately, just so that you don't think that you have to use, just add 22 is how far you want them to drop. So the next step, once you have up to 27, now hopefully you have used some sort of method to get up here, and you're up here along with it. The next step is to build the tunnel. And for this, you're going to want to your skeletons to be moved at least 16 blocks away. Now, this is for a couple of reasons. Number one, you need to be within 16 blocks of the spawner in order for it to be active. And the skeletons within that 16 blocks will affect the spawn rates of those that may spawn next. So if you are, is that right? Yeah. If you are too far away while you are idling waiting for your experience, the skeletons won't spawn. But if you are too close, then, or if the skeletons are too close rather, sorry, then no more skeletons will spawn. So you need to move those guys. You need to move them far. So what you're going to do is you're going to count from the actual spawner. So in this case, our spawner, whoa, flying. Our spawner is located at negative 1511. That's the number we're going to use here because we are going to be moving north. So we need that to increase by 16. So negative 1511 plus 16. Yes, because that number is getting larger as it gets smaller. Negatives. Ugh, math. 1511 plus 16 is negative 1527. So out here at 1527 is where we're going to drop them. I think I went a little bit too far. I did. So 1527 is where we want to drop them. Let's get rid of all of this. And let's also do this, so that we're not in the dark, because that's annoying. Okay, now that we are here, this is a fun part as well, because you're going to want to come straight down. Now, if you're digging this out in survival, you might not have much of a plan here. Your plan might just be to start digging straight down, and that's all well and good, but a better plan would be to find where you're going to have to drop them and then dig up, which also kind of risky. Use your ears, pay attention for lava, and this is where we're going to drop them, right on this block here. Now, I am going to represent this part of it with mossy brick because I like mossy brick when it comes to wow, that's so not mossy brick. I like mossy brick when it comes to grinders because, you know, you find the mossy brick, you never really know what to do with it. Some of you might, you know, you might have an idea, you might have something you like to build mossy brick on, but not me. I never have any clue what to do with it. Anyway, I ramble. So now we have this. I'm going to finish out the tube where they drop right here, and I will be right back. Okay, now what we have is our framework completed. The skeletons spawn, they're brought up the number of blocks we want in order to drop them so that they fall to this block here and have 1 hit point left. That does vary, like I was saying, but it's just something we kind of have to deal with. So now, you're going to make your way back in here. Remember this place? It's fun. Now you can start placing all of your water. Now the best place to put your signs here, you have to take a few things into consideration. Let's glowstone it so that we can see, huh? If you put your sign here to block the water, that'll work. Your skeletons might get stuck right there, which it's something you got to deal with because with the signs you don't necessarily have all that much space to move them around. But you do need the sign because you see how now the water pushes you back the wrong way? You can put your sign here and place your water here. This one might be slightly more effective. So either one will work. This one is likely more effective, so this is what I tend to go with. Then, oh, not here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start placing our water because when you put mobs in water, they'll jump. So this is our water elevator. Then they'll jump right into here. And you're going to alternate signs and water all the way up. And this is where being in survival, you might find that you have some issues. Move, bat. What are you even doing here? Stop it! Stop it! Gosh. Now, this is all just dark, and I apologize for that, but... Well, hang on. Oh my goodness, bat. You are driving me batty. Ha. Okay. Sign. Water. Sign. Water. And so on. All the way to the top. Now, here we are at the top, which is where we wanted to be, remember? Your skeletons will come up, they'll come out of here. Now, depending on how you've got this set up, you might need a sign there, and then you're going to want your water stream to push this way. Because remember, this is where they're going to be falling. Let's get another glowstone. So now, you're going to need to push them into this hole, because they're not going to want to do that on their own. So, the easiest way to do that... Whoops! Not like that! Oh no! The easiest way to do that, place another sign, and another water. And now it pushes me into the hole. But the problem is, I've got a safe drop here. We don't want that. So you need to have yourself another sign right there. That'll stop it. And now, as you can see, the water dries up, and we fall. If you really want to, what you could do is pretend you're a skeleton. Come in here. You're not tracking anybody, so you're probably not moving a whole lot. This is the main problem right here. So, the skeletons will, they'll kind of gather here, but if you watch this, which you might want to do with your first grinder, they'll fall into this area here. And then when they slide down the water, they'll push the next guy. And he'll fall. And then instinctively, they'll jump. So we're going to simulate a jumping skeleton who is actually swimming to the top, trying to figure out what in the heck is going on. He just wanted to shoot some players. That ain't happening today, buddy. Did they get to the top? I haven't pressed anything other than spacebar. And they'll be pushed along. Now you have the same issue here, which I suppose... you could actually rectify by doing this instead. And what you'll see is, let me move back, the water will flow this way, and the skeletons won't get stuck there. They'll continue to be pushed, where they will fall, bam, onto your block. So we're ready to go. Let's simulate our spawner by placing some skeletons into where they would spawn. Oh, right. We don't want them burning now, do we? Goodness, that's dark. So, as you can see, they'll fall down there, and just like I said, when they accumulate a little bit, they'll push each other. I want to give you an example of this. This is what will happen if you don't have that block there. The pathfinding of the skeleton will not allow him to just walk right off the edge. So, always keep a block there. And here we go. And of course, you know, they'll spawn at various points throughout the room, not all in the same place. This water here keeps them... my goodness. This water here keeps them from taking any damage that we don't want them to take just yet. Because what we want over here is a collection of skeletons, all at relatively the same health. So that when we come over here, it's as simple as punching them a few times to get our experience. Now, what I also like to do, and this is probably pretty well known, is that if you let a bunch of skeletons accumulate, and then you huck a splash potion of healing, it kills them all at once. And then it's this beautiful little show of experience, and it's just great. Hello. So yeah, that is basically it. That is how you build a skeleton XP grinder using only water, signs, and a pick. Be careful when you knock out your torches once you're ready for this to go, because they spawn fast and they are not happy about what you're doing to them. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, please leave them in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching.